Hey guys, Tony here, CCxRC, and we've got something special for you today. You know, people probably think sometimes that we're a little bit weird. You know, we're grown adults, many of us, playing with toys. Well, guess what? I'm going to take it to a whole new level today because I've got here in the studio with me a special guest, traveled all the way from Australia. Welcome, please, with me, Outback Jack. And so we're going to do something a little bit different here on the CCxRC channel. We're going to interview a toy, a 1/10 scale RC driver. To be clear, we're going to interview Jack. Alright, so Jack, welcome to the show. This is going to be a little bit weird, guys, and boy, Jack, you're tiny. We're going to be interviewing this little toy here, Jack. And Jack has had quite an adventure so far. He left Australia. It took him a long time to get through customs in Canada, and he arrived with the Tank RC. And Jack, on your adventures, you get to do some things that are pretty cool. A lot more than what we get to do as full-scale human beings. I mean, he arrived at Tanks, and the first thing he had to do was there's a bleak situation, and he had to take on some zombies. So tell us about that, Jack.
Well, I finally arrived at Tank's place, a long flight from Australia. It was like a slow boat from China to get to Canada. Unbelievable, and I tell you what, I couldn't wait to get off that plane. I was jet lagged that much. But he put me in with all these zombies I was surrounded by, and I thought I might as well get rid of some of these zombies. So the old Crocodile Dundee came out in me, and I said, that's not a knife, this is a knife. So I started slashing some of these zombies and putting them away here and there, and I'll tell you what, it was like shelling peas, it was.
Let me interrupt you here for a second, buddy. So here's the thing, guys. So he's encountered these zombies, right, Jack? And then right after that, he gets basically thrown into the spin cycle of a washing machine as he goes to Reno Boyz RC, and he just gets basically battered and bruised. And I'm actually not sure. How are you still here with us, Jack?
So I arrived at Reno Boyz RC there. My good mate Joey, he was happy to see me. He couldn't wait and get me out of this little coffin box.
Alright, so let me interrupt him again. So this is the coffin that Jack is talking about here. This is what he's traveling in. You can see it's about his size. In fact, he doesn't fit in it whole. He's got to get sawed in half, ripped into, to be put into this, sorry mate, to be put into this coffin here. That's getting some nice stickers. He's getting beat and battered by all the stuff that's inside of it. But you know what? It all packs in here nicely. It's a little bit of a cushy ride with this padding as it's arrived here. So sorry for interrupting you, buddy. Proceed.
He decides to put me in his hotted up Mad Max truck that he's made, and wanted to give it a bit of an Aussie theme there, and I'll tell you what, I couldn't wait to get out of this truck. He absolutely thrashed the truck, and I've never been dizzy in all my life.
Alright, so you went from being battered and bruised with Reno Boyz, and things were looking up for you. You arrived with Chris at GCM. Things were looking up, you know, beautiful aquatic scene, nice stroll by the beach. But things took a little bit of a turn for the worse there, eh, Jack?
I tell you what, he put me in this Mozilla buggy, absolutely unbelievable buggy just to drive, and we went for a Sunday trail by the lake there, and it was a tranquil sort of a day until I got to this big boulder or big rock, whatever you want to call it. I've seen some rocks in my time down here in Australia. Ayers Rock is huge.
That was a huge rock, and Chris was determined to get that Mozilla up over that rock, and Jack pretty much took the brunt of that determination.
I flipped the buggy about 10 times, and I bruised myself, and once again I came out battered and bruised, but it was a good time down there at Chris Robinson's.
Yeah, so Chris basically took you to the carnival, and he put you on these spin rides that make you sick and want to throw up all over the place. But things started to look up, because next you're going to one of your biggest fans, Susan Millard. So Susan and Kevin received you, and things were looking pretty good until they didn't. Tell us about that adventure. I mean, it was pretty insane what they put you through.
Tell you what, I've never seen someone so excited in all my life. Susan was over the moon when she saw me. apparently I'm a #1 fan, and absolutely stoked down there. And well, I tell you, I went through this bit of a kidnapping down here, and I was bound up in ropes. And I tell you what, I had to fight the boss man down there, and I cleaned them all up in the end, even though I was bound up. I escaped, and it was a good time down here at the Millard's place down there, and I'm sure Susan was pretty sad when I left.
Well, Jack, your next trip, it brought back memories for me from my childhood. And I don't want to spoil what's going on here, so I'll let you describe the next person and who you encountered on this trip, because it's pretty cool.
Well, my next trip was over to Dallas's place there, Direlect RC. And I skied from the post office to his house, so I was knocking on his door there. He came out, and he was looking around, couldn't see anyone down. Then he seen I was down on the floor there, and he picked me up and took me in. He got me to meet Skeletor there, his driver of his deadbolt. And me and Skeletor were having a great time, and a bit of fun, and I was telling some Aussie jokes, and at one stage there, Skeletor's head nearly flew off. Couldn't believe what I was saying there, and I didn't like the jokes, but it was a great time down there with Direlect RCs, and I'm sure we'll meet again sometime soon.
Well, I've got to say, I'm with Skeletor in Dallas, because a lot of your Aussie jokes just fly right over our heads here over in North America. We don't quite get the references, but, you know, I'm pretty sure you're a funny guy just based on knowing where you've come from and who you associate with. So I'm sure you've got a sense of humor, and we're just missing it. We're not privileged to the humor that lies within the Outback Jack brain. But things in Canada, I mean, look at you. You look like basically maybe you've become a zombie. I mean, your pants are all tattered. You're all beat up and worn. You just look like you've aged, 30 years in your couple months there in Canada. But man, you made your jump to the States and landed in Atlanta, Georgia, and boy, did you get the Hollywood treatment, my friend.
Well, Tony, my time was up in Canada. Had a fantastic time, and it was time to head over to the States there, and I ended up at the Radio Control Patrol Dave, the Incredible Hulk there, and I'll tell you what, mate, out of all the trips that I did, meeting those chickies down there was absolutely bliss. Dave did put me through a rigorous time though, once again a hamburger with the lot, but I'll tell you what, I was surrounded by these chickies, and now and again I was having R&R there in the bathtub there. The chicks were pampering me, but I'll tell you what, it was a great time down there at the Radio Control Patrol.
It did look like a pretty sweet deal, and you left. Why?
Well, mate, it was time to head to Marshall at Budget Guy RC there. One of my long-time friends there, and he was so glad to meet me. He was over the moon, in fact, and he took me on a trail down there to see some of the animals that they got down there. And I did mention in the video there that I've seen some beavers there, but I'll tell you what, the beavers here are blonde beavers we got here. And but Marshall was grateful, and then he took me around, showed me around. He put some jeans on me there, and those yellow shoes, which made me look a bit like Ronald McDonald there. But no, it was fantastic to finally meet Marshall. One of the best guys you can meet, and he had fun, and that was what it was all about.
Well, Jack, thank you for the interview and taking the time to do this with us. It's been interesting, to say the least. I mean, I'm not sure how many people have ever interviewed a 1/10 scale toy like yourself.
I'll tell you what, mate, I might be a toy, but I'm actually answering your questions. But a fantastic time so far with all the guys there I've met, and they've enjoyed having me there, and they've welcomed me with open arms, and I'd like to thank them so far. And there's more adventures ahead. I'll be off to James Johnson after this, another good old mate of mine down there, and over in Florida. But I'm interested to see what you're going to come up with there, Tony, and you might get another 2,000 subs at this. You never know, mate. But you're going to pull a rabbit out of the hat. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. Poke fun on my channel. You're gonna get me all this growth. I hear you, man. You've got all the ladies on your side, and this is just gonna blow up because of your presence here. And so we thank you for that in advance, don't we, guys? But so, Jack, Really, though, we're we're thankful for you taking the time to do this interview with us. I'm sure that your time here in the States is going to get interesting here very, very soon, and we look forward to taking you out on the track. But I'm not sure about this silly little hat that you're wearing. I'm hoping you brought a helmet with you because things are about to get dangerous for you, my friend. And so we look forward to that. We look forward to seeing if you live up to all these tall tales you've been telling us about today. But you guys, check back here soon because Outback Jack is going to be getting his first taste of Virginia very, very soon. And we look forward to sharing that adventure with you, don't we, Jack? So, check back, guys. Have fun RCing. Keep your finger on the throttle and your eyes to the sky because that's where we hope that your RCs are going. Check you later.